Hey everyone, this is DayTraderRockStar, and this is a market radar, and I wanted to start off the month of November. So we're going to actually throw this out and kind of blanket all of November with this, with some basic thoughts going into November. Interesting last few weeks, the last couple of weeks, unbelievable strength in the market. And a lot of people would mention that strength. How could you not look at the strength in this market and just say, well, I expected that. Not many people expected to get right back up to the highs. I mean, I think a lot of people expect the market to go higher longer term, but this was an impressive run. Even on my chart, you could see I had a target where we had a retracement trend line here. And of course, that target was, put in from down here. So I was expecting a little further, but I definitely wanted to see something happen here. And the market did something. It blew right through it. And it's very close to taking out the highs. And it just shows that type of strength. Now, these are always, there's always going to be times in the market you're going to see something that's outside the normal. And I think this was one of those things. But what is it telling us? Well, there's a lot of talk of, what's moving the market here. And that's what we're going to talk about in November here. All right, the quantitative easing program, the stimulus is gone as of last month. So that is behind us. Earnings are okay and pretty good, actually, I think. Is there anything out there? There is two big events I want to talk about right now on this thing. We have midterm elections, and I know a lot of people are thinking that, hey, this has a lot to do with midterm elections, and it probably does because, doing a little bit more research in the days preceding the election and the days after, even in the Stock Traders Almanac here from Jeffrey Hirsch, he has a good point of making that the extreme bullishness that seems to occur in the 5 days before and 3 days after midterm congressional elections. An impressive 2.7% has been the average gain during the 8 trading days surrounding midterm elections days since 1934. This is roughly equivalent to 52 Dow points per day at present level. There was only one losing period in 1994 when the Republicans took control of both the House and the Senate for the first time in 40 years. Four other midterm switches occurred in 1946 when control of Congress passed to Republicans for just 2 years, and in 1954 when Democrats took back control. In 2006 when Democrats regained control, and in 2010 when Republicans reclaimed the House. And they go into a little bit more on this, but it says the average market gain during the 8 trading days was 2.1% in contrast to the 8 occasions when there was no losses or losses were in single digits. And again, this is between the House seats lost by the presidential party. So if there was 11 occasions where the percentage of House seats were lost to the presidential party was in double digits. The average market gain during the 8 days trading periods was 2.1% in contrast with the 8 occasions when there was no losses, or losses were in the single digits, gains were at 3.4%. All right, you know what? It definitely has an effect on the market, underlying. But there's another event out there, and I'm not going to, and I just happened to catch this the other night. Just happened to be staying up late, and with CNN on, and there's like, CNN from Ferguson, Missouri, right? The scene of the police shooting, the unarmed boy, and the whole racial outburst, and everything that's kind of tensed up and ready to flare up there, because they're going to come out with the grand jury indictment. They're going to see if they're going to indict the police officer. And I watched this ridiculous interview on the streets and stuff, and how people are like, they're kind of like, hey, we're going to burn the place down if they don't indict. And it's like, and the police are out there, and they're saying, well, we bought, we have 1,000 riot gear helmets, and they're just showing how much, and it feels very uncomfortable for some reason. I don't know if that's a market-moving event, but as you know, these things could blow up around the country. So as we get closer to that, I want to be on record to say I'm curious to see how that might affect the markets going forward. I'm not a big fan of how that whole thing is playing out, but we'll see if, like Ebola, like any other event, there's events that move markets, and maybe it does, and maybe it has no effect on it. Maybe it does. So I want to watch that going forward. Other than that, markets are extremely strong. really hard to pinpoint where that pullback's coming in. You can just feel the strength in the market, so you have to continue to look for more upside. If there's news out there or something out there, I don't know, another Ebola patient or something out there that kind of spikes this market down, it's probably going to get bought right up. I mean, it's impressive. So take a look for those opportunities. Look for those opportunities until something really triggers a sell-off, and we can kind of get a grip on why the market's selling off. Because right now there's no reason for it to sell off, and the only thing we could see is getting tired. People might say it's starting to get tired. We have the holiday season ahead of us. We have, of course, we're in the middle of the best 6 months of the market. There's a lot of positives going ahead of us. So we're going to really concentrate on what I concentrate on. Individual stock picking stocks. Trading the markets based off the shorter time frames. There's definitely money to be made in this market. It's actually great to pick a side on the market and you feel the strength in it and just get on board and be able to trade in that direction. That's what it seems like right now. All right, so I'm just going to go over a couple stocks, and again, this goes out to everyone there on YouTube. And as you know, I broadcast the markets each and every day. So when we go over a lot of these setups, you'll see these set up live on the video screen. You come to, you go there, you'll see my video screen on there. You'll see the market, and we'll see us trading it. And a lot of the things I discuss here on the show, we take and handle live each and every day. So as we get ready for each week, I send out a watch list. It's called the high probability watch list, and it's set up on these, the techniques that I use, the divergences, really, if you've watched the YouTube site for a while or watched the show, I have a set group of techniques that I trade with. Could be a lane divergence where we see this higher high versus the lower high down here. And this was actually one, and again, you're going to see the charts that were sent out for last week for this week. So I'm going to go through all of them. Some of them are still active, and you're actually going to get a clue of where we're looking for some things. Some are already going to be hitting their targets. I just sent out a whole bunch of new ones, so those are already sent out. So these are, again, when you click on that button, because it's already updated, I updated when the green starts here, you'll see that the candles fill in, and you can actually see we broke down and hit its profit zone real fast, and then the market extremely strong, pushed right back up here. The fact is, when these get sent into the system, all the short zone, the stops, the profit zones are all in the day trading radio dashboard. So if these products or these stocks hit these targets, you'll be alerted to it, and it gets alerted on the dashboard. So you get those emails when the price is in that zone and when the price hits a sell zone, so you know about it right away. You don't have to look at it next week and say, it came down to his profit zone, but it moved back up. Wow, I wasn't part of that. Damn, how am I going to do this? Well, you get the emails. You get the emails on anytime there's a box here of a zone, that's all calculated in there, and that's all delivered real time to you. So that one worked out good. So I'm just going to go through a bunch of these. These are all, all the ones that I have out. So we'll just go through each one of them. Credit Suisse here. This was from last week. We got into this. Still holding this. Beautiful channel. Again, you can see we're in at that buy zone 25.50 to 26. And this is where it started off last Monday. And you click on the arrow, it updates it to real time, and you can actually see we're getting very close to that profit zone. I expect this to actually go a little bit higher. This is a beautiful channel, and again, everyone's right now in the money on this. So that's looking very good. All right, so next one we're going to get into is Mattel here. Mattel, let me bring it up here. And again, a great example. This was, an interesting stock because it's been in a downtrend, and but what caught my attention was the coil here. There was a coil stochastic, a nice series of lower highs here, all coiled up, and yet we had a divergence here. So you had that divergence, you had a recognizable channel here based off 1, 2, 3 pivots, and we could see that we had that lower low and the kind of a little higher high, but the coil was really the setup. I wasn't really looking at the lane divergence, but it was really about the coil and channel breakout. So we took that, and you could see we moved right up to our profit zone, probably touched very close to touching it, and it should follow through. There's a bigger trend line way up here. It definitely looks like some more upside on this, but that trade is done now. And again, just going to show you each one. These are all of them. I'm not skipping any. Let's see what it is. That's Mattel. That's Mattel again. You know, here's Cabela's. Now, Cabela's. This one was an old one. I kept it, you know, actually, you could see it came down. Let's see here. This was a couple of different ones. We had one here with a pullback here. If we zoom out here, you can see that buy trigger over here. And as you go back, and you could go back and look at the charts, you could actually scroll back these charts and look at the old alerts, because I trade these charts over and over again. So this was from this alert. It pulled back. It pulled back into this area here, bounced back up, and then from that point on, I haven't been tracking it. So it's actually it's right there. It's right there now. So it looks pretty good. All right, here's Generac, GNRC. You remember this trade? This was just a standard channel crossover. I had a good feeling about a channel breakout on this. This was kind of an interesting trade because I was just taking the stochastic turn up here. It was a momentum trade. We got into it at like 41, got out of it 42 or 3. But you can see it's actually still going pretty good, and it's interesting. I'm not going to get back into it. It's not giving that risk-reward type of scenario, but a couple new ones will be. All right, of course, the classic cores. Now, this is interesting. It only took a day, really, to hit its target. When we put this out, it was one of the best bets. It was 2 weeks ago. It was the best bet. It was a perfect lane divergence, which I pointed out so many times on some educational videos. This nice crossover, the spike low, and the perfect wedge pattern. It's really a combination HPS setups. So this was really key. And just click on it and just update where we are now. And again, that's why these... Look at this thing. It's trucking right back up here. Actually, just about ready to probably close that gap. Yes, I did close that gap. And I still like cores for more upside, but I would wait for it to settle back down on the 60-minute time frame. You know, you'll start to see the same patterns playing over and over again. You have to have that risk reward. Look at this. Look at this setup here. Perfect channel. Stochastic start rotating back up. It's a standard, you know, just a momentum shift here, and I mean, forget about that one. That one just took off. And but again, you know, we're able to time these setups. It doesn't even matter how far it goes. It's the timing with the move. You don't want to be in this crappy chop here unless you're really scalping this. But if you're not in that scalping position or something, you want to be able to not get caught up in this chop for 4 days before getting the move. You want to identify when it's going to probably move the most. So we start to see that momentum, and you see that really blast of momentum, combination of channel breakouts and momentum shifts and everything else looking good on that. And I'm just going to show you a couple more that are set up, and I'm going to then show you one of the best bets for this week here. Why not? All right, I'm going to jump right into this again. I'm just going to go out because I wanted to get the Clorox on the HPS, so I'm giving this out for a kind of a possible best bet for the week. But we want to really wait for this stochastic cross back over. I want to kind of keep the integrity of this downward sloping trend line a little. But we got the push here. We got the higher high. It seems to be holding in the recent low, but we want to really confirm that with a cross back over. Again, you already got a nice move away here and up against the trend line. So a scale is possible, but like I said, I want to try to keep myself disciplined enough to wait for that confirmation crossover on Clorox. So again, this is in our HPS watch list now, and it'll be triggered it's going to be triggered on Monday, but remember, I'll be discussing this one as it's happening. If we happen to see the crossover, then I'll actually take my trade, and you'll get the alert on that also. All right, so that's that. And again, going into next week, again, very bullish conditions. If there is any events out there that could, triple this market, they will come. They probably will be opportunities into those things. But other than that, we're going to keep it concentrated on the 60-minute time frame. We're going to do a lot of ES work next week. Definitely want to break down that 1-minute chart a little bit more. So come on by, DayTradingRadio.com. We're on the air every single day from 8 o'clock till market close and beyond. Overnight, too. Follow the futures as whatever you need here. All right? So we'll see you in the markets on Monday.